Happy Saturday or greetings whenever you're joining us. My name is Caitlin. This is Come Back Yoga's Level 2 Saturday morning class. And today we're continuing our focus on the present moment, which is such a great thing to practice on our mat. And it comes with huge benefits in our life, like improved sleep, decreased depression and anxiety, better pain management, all things I wish for you. And no matter where you're coming from, just know that you're welcome and you are well met here in this practice. Remember that pain is an invitation to explore something else as we move through challenging poses and maybe some new poses or some old poses that suddenly have new sensations. Just remember that pain is something to move away from, and this is your practice. So if ever I'm cueing or leading us in a pose that you don't want to do, don't do that thing. Make this your own practice. Know that we will move on, and I hope that you enjoy what we have in store for today. So, we're going to start in a comfortable seat. And as always, you can sit like I do with my legs crossed in front of me. You might prefer to sit on a block to kind of create some space in the hips. Maybe you choose to sit on your shins and knees. A chair works fine too. So, arrive in your space. And as you arrive, just remember, you might want to grab some water. I have mine nearby. Find the spaces where your body meets the mat. And allow those spaces to settle, to find some ease. Know that everything that was for you before you started this practice will find you after. And just honor and stick with the time that you set aside for yourself. As you settle in, you might, without looking, think about where your head and your chest and your hips are. And then can you align them so that maybe your head comes back a little bit over the hips. Find that alignment. And then from there, grow from your foundation. So where you rest, we're going to reach through the crown of the head and just lengthen the spine a little bit, creating a little bit of space. Maybe you shimmy your shoulders from side to side if that feels good, or find this easy stretch in our easy seat. You can always stay here. And if you're ready to move on, we will find some shoulder rolls. So of course, you might shrug your shoulders back and then up towards your ear and then forward. You might take these the opposite way to start. You can always roll one shoulder and then the other. Sometimes I notice that seems to massage the space between my shoulder blades a little better. Whatever feels good for you. And then from there, let's switch directions if you only took one direction previously. And as you're moving, notice what you feel. If you feel or hear any Rice Krispies, your muscles, your back, your fascia. If you feel any tension in the jaw, the column of the neck, the back body, the shoulders, just notice those things, preferably without judging them, making them good or bad. Just being aware. Beautiful. And then once you feel even on both sides, we'll make circles with our torso. So I'm going to slide my torso over to one side, and then as I inhale, I'm going to round my torso forward and then over to the other side. Then when I exhale, I'll round my torso behind to complete the circle. So inhaling to come forward, exhaling to round behind. Your hands can rest on your knees or beside you, whatever feels good. Inhaling to come forward, exhaling to round behind. Here, as we make these movements, big or small, it feels good for you. Notice again the sensations that you feel. You might notice as your weight shifts, some soreness in your muscles, the legs, the abdomen, the arms even. You might notice a feeling of stretching, waking up. You might notice a sensation of breathing in this way. We'll switch directions if you haven't already. Still inhaling to come forward, exhaling to round behind. Notice what you notice. And as always, feel free to close your eyes or soften your gaze and move with your breath. So don't feel the need to inhale and exhale or make your circles the same speed as mine. We'll take 2 more rotations at your pace. Beautiful. And when you're ready, we'll come back to stillness, stacking the head over the heart, over the hips. From here, if you're not already sitting with your legs in front of you, I'd recommend sitting with your legs in front of you. I'm going to bring my right knee bent kind of out to the right, and my left foot is now in front of my center. I'm going to hold my right knee, and option here, you can just hold your knee, kind of let your foot hover and make little circles with your leg here. Or you can hold your knee with one hand, hold your right foot with your other hand, and make these circles by supporting your leg. What we really want to find here is some movement in the hip joint, the joint where the hip meets your leg. So just bringing some movement in there, maybe move it in one direction and then the other. We can move it forward and back. And then we'll plant the sole of the right foot beside the sole of the left foot, knees come wide for butterfly pose. So, in a butterfly pose, you might flap your wings as you think about drawing, wings being your knees, as you think about drawing your knees down towards the mat, or you might keep your knees static. And of course, it doesn't really matter if your feet are really close to your center, if you want to create more space in between your heels and your hips here. And then you're welcome to fold forward. So, noticing if you feel any stretching here. Keeping a flat spine. And if you'd like, you can allow the head to be heavy. Make little circles with your chin, or draw the ear from one shoulder to the other. Beautiful. When you're ready, we'll bring the head back over the hips. We'll rest the right foot where it is, and then find your circles, your rotation, or even a bit of a cradle here with your left leg. Making some movement into that joint where your leg meets your hip. And switching directions. If this feels weird, it's okay. Just give it a try. Make it as big or as small as you need. You can even leave your foot on the mat and just move your knee from side to side if that feels more comfortable. And then when you're ready to move on, we'll bring the soles of the feet together one more time. Find your butterfly, and you might this time press the feet further out if they were close in your first butterfly, or press the feet further in towards your hips if they were further away, just to find a different sensation, a different level of a stretch as you fold forward. And again, you can keep a flat spine here and allow the head to be heavy if that feels good. Drawing shoulders away from the ears, and still drawing the neck towards one shoulder and then the other, as you allow the knees to be heavy and come towards the mat. Beautiful. From here, we'll bring the head back over the hips, and we will bring the soles of the feet to the mats for easy boat. So I'm actually going to move so you can see my profile here. So I'm going to keep my feet planted on the mat. I'm going to slide my hands behind my hips and bring my weight onto the heels of my hands. So my seat is resting in between my sits bones and my tailbone. Okay, from here, you might think about releasing the hands and reaching them forward as you use the muscles of the core to keep your back as flat as possible. Clavicles are open wide, shoulders are drawing away from the ears and towards one another in the back body. And of course, you can always keep the hands behind you to support you, but leave little to no weight in them. So maybe you float them up, or you can be reaching. For 3 more breaths, finding your easy boat. You're doing great. Beautiful. And then from here, if the hands aren't already planted behind the back, bring them behind you, and we'll drop the knees from one side to the other. You can do this in unison, or you can open them and close them. Whatever feels good for you. Just finding some easeful windshield wipers here. Again, noticing what you notice. If you feel any sensations along the legs, the hips, the back body. Beautiful. And from here, we'll find our cat-cows. So I'm going to come through tabletop. My hands are going to come underneath my shoulders, my knees underneath my hips. I'm going to drop my belly, point my tailbone and my chin towards the ceiling, and then round the spine and tuck my chin and my tailbone for cat. Inhaling in cow. And exhaling in cat, pressing all the air out of my body as much as I can. Whew. Nice. Move here with your breath. Maybe you roll the shoulders as you come through one position and the other. Maybe you leave the shoulders where they are. And then when you're ready to move on, we'll find stillness in the flat tabletop. And I'm going to bring my weight into my left leg. So the bottom of my left leg, my left shin, the top of my left foot, and my left knee. And then I'm going to extend my right leg long. So my toes are kind of kickstanding on the mat. My heel is lifted. From here, you can stay here, breathing into the right side body, feeling the stretch in the hips, perhaps. Or you might lift the right leg to hover. Hello, Tucker. The hovering leg is just going to be the height of your hips or lower. So you don't want to lift it too high. Drawing the ribs together to support you and thinking about evenly distributing the weight in your hands no matter where your right foot is. From here, we'll drop the right knee down and then switch sides. Maybe you drop your hips from one side to the other before you bring your weight into the right leg now, the right shin, the right top of the right foot, and the right knee, extending the left foot back, left heel is lifted, left toes are kickstanding on the mat. Maybe you stay here, pressing the mat away as much as possible with your hands, or maybe you allow your left foot to hover just the height of the hips and no higher. You got this. For 3 more breaths, thinking about reaching through the crown of the head, pressing the mat away with the grounded knee and hands, pointing the left toes down to the mat, just square the hips, so strong. From here, we'll bring both knees back down, and then we will tuck the toes for a downward facing dog. Oh, so the hips come high, chest draws towards the tops of the thighs. The tailbone points for the ceiling as high as it'll go. And then just allow the heels to release any tension and just kind of fall where they may. You might walk your dog by bending one knee, lifting the opposite heel, and then the other. You might shimmy the shoulders together. Whatever feels good here in the shape. And then we'll find stillness if you're not already there for 3 more breaths. Friends, you can always stay here if you're ready to move on. We're going to meet in a standing position at the top of the mat. So maybe you come through tabletop, maybe you walk your feet up towards your hands for a forward fold, and then around at the back, slowly lifting vertebrae by vertebrae until you find yourself standing at the front of your mat. From here, we'll build our mountain pose. So the mountain pose is going to start in the feet, really pressing as much of each foot into the mat as you can, like you're growing roots. You're going to settle here. From there, energetically draw my heels away from one another. It's going to wrap the muscles of my legs around the frame. You might notice your kneecaps lifting. I'm going to knit my ribs together, drawing my navel into spine. Shoulders draw away from the ears and towards one another in the back body. Maybe the hands lift, biceps besides the ears, or maybe the hands stay low, fingers reaching for the mat. Wherever the hands are, they're reaching away from the shoulders as the shoulders reach away from the ears. Mountain pose. 3 more breaths here. Inhaling for your mountain. Exhaling to find ease, to settle in, to stay. Beautiful. When you're ready to move on, we will move to our chair pose. So for chair, I'm going to keep my feet rooted into the mat, but I'm going to bring that sensation into my heels, so much so that maybe the toes are free to wiggle. From here, I'm going to bend my knees, but I'm going to keep my tailbone tucked as much as possible. You decide how deep your knees bend. From there, the hands might come to heart center, palms together in front of the chest, or they might lift high, biceps towards the ears, shoulders drawing down. If you'd like, you can hinge from your hips, drawing the chest towards the front of the mat a little bit more, but we want to keep the tailbone tucked as much as possible, the weight in the heels. For 2 more breaths. I know you're working here, so you got this. When you're ready to move on, we'll bring the weight into the right foot, and I'm going to step my left foot back for crescent lunge. So I'm stepping on my left toes, my left heel is going to lift. Make this foundation in your feet as far away or as close to the front foot as you want. This is your crescent lunge for 3 more breaths. Hands can be lifted still or palms together in front of the chest. Right knee is bent. The head is now stacked over the hips once more. Beautiful. From here, chair pose. Step forward. You decide how deep you bend. Settle in. 3 breaths. So strong. Weight stays in the right foot as we step back for crescent lunge. 3 breaths here. So you're really finding your balance, and then finding your shape, and then finding your ease. Beautiful. If your hands aren't already lifted, we're going to lift the hands and then sweep them back for airplane arms in our crescent lunge. So for our airplane arms, we're reaching the fingers towards the back of the mat, and the shoulders are still drawing away from the ears, and there's like this openness in the front body, so our clavicles are reaching really wide, and the shoulders are drawing towards one another in the spine. The front body might be drawing towards the front of the mat, so you have a lot of weight on your right leg. Nice. From here, crescent lunge, we're going to sweep the hands high, head comes back over the hips, and then full airplane. So for our airplane, just like we did, we're going to sweep the arms back for airplane arms, and then we're going to bring our weight fully into the right foot, so much so that maybe your left foot steps forward a little bit. It might be kickstanding on the mat, or it might be hovering. Left toes are pointing for the mat to square your hips. Come in and out of the shape as you need, still keeping a really long line of energy from the crown of the head all the way down to the left heel. So we're not bent over so much, but trying to align with our left leg. So we're keeping that same angle. Nice. Okay. When you're ready, we'll step back. So all 10 toes are still pointing towards the front of the mat. The left heel is lifted, and we'll find our pyramid pose. For pyramid pose, we're going to straighten the front leg. Keep a tiny little bend in it so we're not micro bending it, micro straightening it, hyper extending it, micro bending it. Okay. And then we're going to bring our hands to our hips and fold forward. So you might find the same line of energy as you had in airplane, or you might fold even further, noticing the stretch in the hips and the back of the right leg. Maybe your hand comes to your right shin to support the upper body. Maybe your hands find the mat in front of you, or your hands can stay on your hips. But you're going to want to knit your ribs together to support the upper body in pyramid pose for a few more breaths. And if it feels better, you can always bring the left heel down and point the left toes out to like a 45-degree angle. So your toes can all be facing forward, or your left toes can be facing out to the side. Really settling into the stretch, staying with the sensations that you feel in your body. And then when you're ready, we'll lift the head, neck, and chest up over the hips, and then step forward for your chair pose. So strong. We'll do the same on the other side. You decide how deep you bend. Inhale to find your chair. Exhale to find some ease for 3 more breaths. You've got it. Weight comes into the left foot now. You want to step your right foot back for crescent lunge. Maybe the hands stay lifted. Maybe they come palms together in front of the chest. For 3 more breaths. Building so much strength in the legs. Continually balancing, resettling, refocusing, staying here. When you're ready, step forward, chair pose. For 3 more breaths. Weight stays in the left foot. Step our crescent lunge back. Finding your balance, finding your center. Staying here in this moment. If the hands aren't already lifted, we're going to lift the hands on your exhale. We'll sweep the hands back for a crescent lunge with airplane arms. So the chest might come forward, shoulders are still drawing away from the ears, and there's real intention in the fingers. Just reach for the back of the mat. Think about squaring the shoulders with the mat. Beautiful. Crescent lunge. Arms sweep up or come to heart center. And then when you're ready, full airplane. So we're going to sweep the hands back. Weight comes into the left leg now, so much so that you kind of step forward into the left leg. Right foot might slide forward or it might hover. And we're keeping kind of this long line of energy from the right heel all the way up to the crown of the head. So it's not so important that you draw the chest towards the mat, that you find your alignment with your leg all the way up through the crown of the head. Come in and out of this pose as you need. Notice that this might feel different on this side than it did on the other side. So just like we do with the sensations as we're first starting our practice, we just want to notice what we do about this shape without judgment. Just allow it to be as it is for today. And then when you're ready, we'll step the right foot back, find our pyramid pose. So You might land the right heel down, orienting the right toes out towards the right side of the mat for 45 degrees or so. Or you might keep all of your toes pointing towards the front of the mat. We're going to straighten the left leg. We're going to bring our hands to our hips and then fold forward. And maybe once you find a stopping point, you see there, breathing in, finding spaces that feel tense, sending your breath there. Or maybe you work deeper to find an easeful fold forward for your pyramid pose. Staying with the sensations that you feel, listening and adjusting as you need. Remembering this is your practice. This stretch can be intense, so being kind to yourself. For 3 more breaths. So strong. When you're ready, we'll lift the head back over the hips and we will find a wide-legged forward fold. So maybe you do this standing, walking the feet far away from one another, heels and toes out, hands come to hips, and we want to keep this foundation in the legs strong and steady. Maybe there's a little bit of a bend in the knees as we fold forward, drawing the head down towards the mat. If you do not want your head underneath your heart, no worries. You can take this forward fold in our seat, just extending the legs long and wide, pointing the toes for the ceiling, and then bowing forward. Wherever you are, take any movement that feels good. So you might plant one hand on the mat and then lift the opposite hand up and behind you for a twist, and then doing the same on the other. You might sway your hips from one side to the other if you're standing. You might walk your hands forward if you are seated, or you might walk your hands underneath your legs if you are standing to deepen this fold forward. And again, just like we did in pyramid pose, really staying with the sensations that you feel and then listening to those sensations. So maybe there's tension building and you need to move and adjust or send your breath to that space. Maybe there's tension easing and you might find a space to fold even a little bit further. Wherever we are, just staying with the shape. I feel really tight in my hips, so I'm swaying from side to side. Make whatever choice is best for you. We'll allow our body to really sink into this forward fold for 5 more breaths. Allowing the head to be heavy no matter where you are. For 3. Beautiful. All right, friends, we're going to bring our head back over our hips. If you are standing, you want to keep that bend in your knees. And then we'll all meet on the mat, seated with our legs wide for our side bends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point my right shoulder towards my right toes. I'm going to allow my right hand to either find my shin or the side of my leg, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to slide my torso over, following the line of my shoulder. So my right shoulder is going to draw towards my right foot. Okay. Maybe your hand can hold onto your shin or your knee. So your left shoulder is probably going to get a little higher here. As you bring your right shoulder down, really breathing into the left side. The left hand can be lifted, it can be behind you, it can be resting on your left hip. Your gaze can be on your foot or to your left. Finding ease here and settling in for 3 more breaths. Again, breathing into the left side body. The left lung has these 2 little globes to hold air, and they make space for your heart. Think about filling as much of your lungs as you can. So inhale and then let it all go. Nice. From here, we're going to lift the head back over the hips and we'll switch sides. So I'm going to point my shoulders, my left shoulder for my left foot, and then I'm going to slide my left shoulder down towards my left foot. My right shoulder is going to lift. My right hand can lift with it or come to my hip. Gaze can be on your foot or to the right. Thinking about opening through the chest and really just creating space, like you're shining your abdomen towards the right side now. Breathing into the right lung that has 3 globes. Thinking about filling every single one, as much as you can. So inhale, and then letting it all go as you exhale. 3 more breaths here. Beautiful. Okay. From here, we're going to lay down on our mat, find the mat with both shoulder blades. I'm going to extend my right leg long and lift my left knee up towards the chest. And maybe it draws up towards the armpit. That feels good. Maybe it just stays pointing towards the ceiling. You don't have to hug your shin. You can reach for the back of your left thigh. Finding a pulling sensation, just a little bit, guiding the left leg up gently as you push the right thigh, the right calf as well, into the mat. So nice. And then we will bring both knees in. Give them a little hug. Maybe you sway from side to side. Maybe you lift your head up towards your knees, drawing everything in together. And then we'll let it go, holding on to the right leg, extending the left leg long, left toes point for the ceiling, and the left thigh and left calf draw down towards the mat. Breathing here, noticing the sensation of this push and pull, the lower body, as you rest the upper body as much as possible. For 2 more breaths. So strong. When you're ready, we'll bring both knees back in and find whatever feels good here. You might rock your knees from side to side. You might make knee circles one way and then the other. You might make letters with your feet. Just massaging the fascia in your back, your hips, even your legs, friends. And when you're ready, we'll find our last shape for the practice. So I like to lie down on my back with my arms out, my legs extended, and my hands facing up. I like to shimmy my shoulders together to create a little shelf for my heart. And maybe you like to bring your legs up against the wall or come to a comfortable seat. Wherever you want to be, friends, for a few moments of rest, please meet me there. So easy to dismiss rest, but rest is so important. We'll call it 30 breaths, and I will come back to close our practice together. As you inhale, noticing the belly rising. As you exhale, the abdomen falling. You might count your breaths backwards from 20 to 1. Noticing as you breathe this full sensation. For the next 15 breaths, we'll take them silently before we close. Friends, you can always stay here. And if you're ready to move on, we'll bring some movement into the fingers and our toes, rolling the ankles and the wrists if that feels good for you. Maybe taking a good morning stretch up overhead or shimmying the shoulders or the hips. And then slowly and with intention, we will find a comfortable seat to close out our practice together. And often in yoga, we close out our practice with our hands together in front of our chest like this. I like to rub my hands together to create some warmth, and I stack them over my heart. You're important already. You always were. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you. Thank you for creating this time for yourself. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.